All right, good morning, Squadron. Welcome to a Friday, July 17th, and the OTOT morning brief. If you are catching this on replay, thanks for checking us out. Again, we're always looking for bright minds and jovial banter for those of us that get together in the morning here to go over the market open, which you're about to hear. And you can get more information at ototnow.com if you want to join us. Currently, we're discounted for $25 a month, so pretty cheap, about $1 a day to join us for an hour. So today, I'll give you a quick podcast update. Good news. I was out last night with episode 29 about financial therapy, and at 12:30 in the morning, I stayed up for it. We got our 1,000th download. So pretty big goal as far as podcasts go. Most folks are looking at around the 6-month point for when they get their 1,000 downloads. We're at the 6-week point. So a lot of content, a lot of popularity, things are going well, and I think that will drive a little more traffic to the room. Again, through Google Analytics, I did see somebody coming all the way into the page where they found out more information than the ROE for the rules this morning. So, and you can see my trades already in the thing there. BlackRock crushed earnings this morning. So I was wanting to hop on that first. They don't trade before market, so it's going to be at the open. Okay, so for new folks in the room, make sure you have your Q&A window open and your chat window open. You will not see this in the replay, but it's for us in the room. That's how we're communicating with each other. And with your chat window, make sure you have all attendees selected. You have to go in there and do that. All right, mission objectives this morning, fighter pilot style. We're going to grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. The particular topics we're going to look at today are Tesla stock, which is one of the electric vehicle stocks that we're going to take a look at. And then our academic topic of the day, you know that I've covered Jim Cramer. We talked about Jeff Gundlach. Today we're going to talk about Elon Musk and all the things that he has done out there as a visionary for our country. For the flow, we're going to talk about long-term investing first, then some short-term stuff. We're going to execute the market open. For about 10 minutes after that, we'll do some more short-term investing focus, and then we'll transition back to the important stuff, which is, again, the long-term investing and how's your portfolio going to do. We're going to do a market review where we go around the world, and then we're going to go do a headline review. Before we get over into our long-term investments, there are the 6 names that you see there, 5 individual stock names, as well as the ETF, iDrive for the electric vehicles out there. Then we'll get to our Q&A. For contingencies, if you have any issues, you can real-time go to steve@ototnow.com. That's where you'll get some tech support immediate on hand here. And of course, our disclaimer as always is this is a financial education presentation. I do not know your personalized situation, so you have to do your own due diligence before you take any action on what you see here. All right, let's go ahead up to TD Ameritrade, the ThinkPipe screen, and we will take a look at our year in review. Click share that out again and click the volume there. There we go. All right, we're taking a look at the SPY, the S&P 500 is what we're looking at, and you go over to the far right-hand side, just focusing on that. And you can see we're still in the channel. We're right at the bottom edge of the channel going up there. And then today is, of course, setting up to be a green day, and I think that's going to hold unless there's some headline news that comes out that, of course, is surprising about states shutting down. We talked earlier in the week about California's shutdown, hit the market, and then Texas. There was not a big to-do about the shutdowns, but again, it was more of a behind the scenes. So you didn't have the governor making a big announcement, but some guidance did go out that is pretty well going to crush things for fall sports. So we're kind of bummed about that, but we'll see how it all plays out. All right, back to the market here. We'll go to the past 5 days in the S&P 500, which is the chart that you see here. You have the dark blue is the current day when the market's open, and then you have kind of that lightest blue, almost purplish, is the after hours. So you can see yesterday, we'll just talk about yesterday there, pretty much straight across. A lot of movement towards the end of the day, which affected the numbers. But you can see as after the market closed, it's been kind of a straight up ride from there. And of course, we had some earnings this morning that are going to move the market. So let's look at the earnings chart. The one I'm talking about in specifically is BlackRock. It's the largest asset manager in the world. They run all of the huge ETFs and a lot of different things for people to get their money in and invest. So good stuff. Larry Fink is the CEO. He has some commentary. We'll talk about it when we do the headline review here. But yeah, they beat earnings big time. And if you remember, I talked about BlackRock all the way back in when the Fed went all in. They went all in by cutting rates to zero. And then secondly, said they were going to step in and buy bond ETFs to prop up the bond market. And then they came in and said they were going to buy individual stocks. Individual bonds. I misspoke there. Individual bonds, which is huge. But the Fed doesn't have the staff to do that. So who did they outsource to do that? BlackRock. So as soon as that announcement was made, it was buy. BlackRock, which is around $400 a share at the time, and now it is in five. My eyes don't see it, but high fives, right? So big news out there, and that's going to move the markets higher, just that headline alone. Okay, and there's some other earnings out there that you'll see in the headline review, which let's go over to CNBC now, and we will take a look around the world first. So what's going to pop up there first is the futures. So you see everything, even the Dow's up almost 0.5%, NASDAQ up 1%. So pretty big move there. Let's go and see how Europe is doing. Kind of mixed across the board, but not a whole lot of big movement. Let's check out Asia. Asia was mixed as well. Thank you, 576 for BlackRock pre-market. I would bet they'll top 600 today. I really do. That is a big, big headline and a big beat. But we'll see. Might be profit taking. That's what can take. That sometimes you get that big earnings beat and the stock sells off. Facebook does that all the time. It's because people book profits. So we'll see. All right, back to, you see the Japanese markets down. The rest are up across the Asian front. Let's check out bonds. 10-year was down a little bit. That's still crazy that the 10-year is at 0.6%. So if you want to lock away your money into treasuries for 10 years, you can get 0.6% a year. That's ridiculous. I heard, I don't have the exact numbers, but you can think of the ballpark of in the 90s, the 10-year was around 4%. And in the 80s, of course, it was like 7 or 8% back when interest rates were up in the teens. So just really, if somebody would have said this is how our future looks, people would have said that's impossible. No way. Well, here we are, and I do not see rates going anytime higher anytime soon. Taxes, yes. Rates, no. It just doesn't work that way. And of course, they call it the war on savers, because if you want to make money, you're not going to get it in treasuries, and it's harder and harder every day to make it in bonds. So that takes you right on into the stock market, which of course is screaming higher and bouncing off new highs, because that's what the stock market does. All right, let's check out the numbers from yesterday in the U.S. market. The Dow broke a 4-day win streak up prior to that, but pretty much right across the board. The VIX, however, yeah, down at 27, and I would imagine that'll come in even more today with a nice big update, but we'll see. Oil, I think, is holding 40, just barely there, and then over into the precious metals. So kind of mixed across the board there, but again, all those are elevated right now. If you're not already in them, I would not go into them prior to the election, because most of the move has already been made, especially in silver, pushing 20 bucks, right? Yeah, it was 14 not too long ago. So, all right, let's bring it back to the main page, and we'll go around the headlines for the day. Okay, yeah, we're getting new coronavirus numbers. Not only is the U.S. shattering its own record, so is Florida, 3 days in a row. The total number of cases there. So again, cases, not deaths. Obviously, you've heard the president come out and talk about that's because of testing. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll sort out. But certainly, we are going to have to burn through the peak here soon. If you watched Mark Zuckerberg yesterday with Dr. Fauci, they hopped online and gave their own 2 cents on the world. And you know, Fauci blamed young people. We'll see if we see it in the headline somewhere for transmit. There it is. Yeah, you're propagating the pandemic. So there you go. There's Dr. Fauci's case. All right. The relief bill is in the news. It is something's going to happen, I think, fairly quickly because both Republicans and Democrats agree that there needs to be more stimulus. Pelosi's throwing out the 1.3 trillion. Okay, it is probably going to be in that neighborhood. And then the unemployment benefits right now are supposed to expire at the end of the month. Well, actually, when you look at how unemployment works, it's actually July 25th because you apply for it for the week ahead of time. So it really expires July 25th. I think we're going to see either a continuation of the 600 a week extra or maybe half of it to a 300. We shall see what comes out of that. Okay, looking down at the two pictures below, we know about Twitter yesterday getting hacked. Stock didn't get hit too bad. It kind of recovered from that. And then, of course, the gentleman off to the left there, that's Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, obviously a very wise individual. I don't particularly care for when people start speaking out of their lane, which obviously he is here with his push for mask wearing. But, you know, I'd rather hear him talk about financial stuff since obviously he is the absolute expert in that field instead of putting on his Facebook doctor hat and giving his opinion on masks. But of course, that's his right to do that. Let's check out what we have down below. All right. Yeah, Netflix missed earnings yesterday after the market. You may have seen that the stock went down as much as 12%. I think it's sitting around negative 7% right now. We'll see that when we kind of shift our focus to the short side of plays of the day sort of thing. I'm not worried about Netflix long term. If you want to be a long term, just hold the Netflix stock. They're not going anywhere. They're a powerhouse. All right. Let's take a look lower here. I love Elon. Oh my goodness, I should not even glance at the chat while I'm trying to review headlines. I love, not I drive. All right. You know, it's interesting. I went to a baseball game last night. Can you believe that? So pro baseball is trying to start back up. The minor leagues are not, but there are college leagues that Texas has once. We have a AAA diamond here, excuse me, in Round Rock. We have the Round Rock Harrymen is the name of the team. All college players, so most of them are local, but went to the actual, park and everything, and went there with a fellow money manager. And she's like, yeah, they're not even looking at bringing her back anytime soon either. So really, big banks, money managers, all that stuff, the new work from home environment, maybe you're affected out there in the workforce for those of you who are not in retirement stage yet. But yeah, I think we are going to see a significant shift to the work from home, the new normal, if you will. All right, there you see the Netflix down 8%. Ooh, I hadn't seen this. The Trade Desk, which is ticker TTD, connected TV bet. I don't know enough about that to talk on it, but I will tell you TTD is a powerhouse. They expanded into China earlier this year, and about a month ago, they were expanding into India. Trade Desk is basically a brokerage house. If you think about the stock market as an exchange for stocks, buyers and sellers meet, and a bunch of stuff trades hands. Well, think of that as Trade Desk is the brokerage house for digital media. So you have buyers and sellers of digital media and content and meeting there and making a bunch of sales. So. All right, let's see. Yeah, nothing good happening with the team formerly known as the Redskins. All right, let's close on out here with, yeah, the home construction numbers. Housing starts came in above. It says jumped 17.3%. I saw some raw numbers. It was like 1.18 million, where 1.1 something was expected. Anyhow, it was a nice beat. So that's good as far as the housing numbers. Okay, that is all we need from there. We're going to switch up the format. As I switch to the long names, I want to start going to one individual stock first before we go to the Schwab Big Board. So that's what you see right now in FinViz, and we're going to talk about Tesla stock. So we'll just kind of pause here. There's a lot of information. I know this is probably small unless you're watching on a huge screen like I am, but so you can see, get the general gist of the stock. And obviously, yes, I have been wrong from day one, but I'm trainable, teachable, if you will. I'm learning. I still think it's a huge short, but you can see it ran up there to almost 900, and then we hit the COVID-19 drop to below 400, and then just on a complete rocket ship from there. And yeah, I said rocket ship because Elon Musk, yeah, SpaceX, that's his too. He's boring holes in the earth with the boring company. Yeah, Solar City. He's just on fire, right? So he wins, and the stock's at 1500, moving up today a little bit from there. So you can see, as far as the PE down to the lower left, there's a dash, because you know what, that whole profitability thing has been an issue, but the forward PE up at 130 means it's transitioning to profitability. They've had 3 previous quarters. Obviously, this fourth quarter we've been talking about, and they go on into the S&P 500 will happen almost immediately. You do see off to the right, there's a short float number. I have dipped my toes into that pool, and it's not turned out well for me. There's certainly people like David Einhorn that are vocal shorts of Tesla, and they have been wronger than me this whole time. And obviously, Tesla for $69, you can go to their website and buy a pair of red shorts, which is Elon Musk making fun of all the people who tried to short the stock. All right, let's switch to the overall theme, though, of electric vehicles. We'll go over to the Schwab Big Board and look at the 6 names for investability. All right, as far as Tesla itself, it's that same chart. It does nothing but go up, and he wins, I lose. Over to the right is Nikola. Again, this is an EV truck maker with also a hydrogen-based truck out as well. It was a SPAC, so remember these special purpose acquisition companies that we've talked about before. So it was a closet IPO is what I call it, on into the market, and just ripped higher from $10 all the way up to over 100. Crazy. It's kind of settled down into the 50s. I do own some. They talk a big game. They have a 38-year-old CEO, I believe, that is a master talker, silver tongue. And if he can deliver on 1/10 of the stuff that he says he can, then obviously the stock's going to follow the Tesla path. Now, the issue is he can talk a good game just like Elon Musk can, but Elon Musk has delivered pretty much from the beginning of time, and this guy has yet to necessarily prove himself. We shall see. Blink, you've heard that name a lot, which is the middle left name there. That is the battery system that's going out there as kind of the mainstream battery system for all of the EV vehicles that are out there. And I think it's the future. I'm not going to try to fight that. But all these systems need to be out there. It's a good place to have some long-term money. And it was gapping up pretty significantly today. So it is definitely on our watch list for being long as well. Okay, and you see the big move recently, but yeah, I think it's a steal under 7, let alone under 6. And you know what? It gapped up over 7 earlier today. It's back down at 650, and we'll see that here in a minute. All right, Workhorse is a name you've heard me talk about. It's that focused on the last mile. So think UPS, FedEx, post office, they get it to the last mile, and then the expensive part is all that, getting it to our doorsteps or to our community mailboxes, depending on what sort of system you're on. They're specializing in that. They have a request for proposal for a huge contract for the U.S. Postal Service. If they get that, this stock screams higher. It's already moved up on the speculation, so there is risk in the name. If they do not get any piece of this contract, you're going to see the stock fall. So if you're interested, take a small chunk. If you're right, you'll be happy. If you're wrong, you're going to be very, very not happy. So just know what you're getting into if you want to be part of this. I love it. I think they're going to get a piece of it. So I've got some dollars behind it. Lower left there is NIO. That's the Chinese leader of the pack, if you will. Again, the coolest website on the internet as far as I'm concerned, because I'm a little bit of a car guy, for those that know me personally. And yeah, the stock is not touchable here. It has run up so far. I think it peaked maybe at 14. Gosh, it's even higher than that. It peaked up maybe 16, 17. It's ridiculous. Yeah, even at 13, I wouldn't touch it. If it comes back below 10, I'd be a buyer. If it doesn't, then I will just simply watch it scream to 1500 like I did watch Tesla make that move. But I'm not going to put dollars behind it because it's too much speculation. And you have the government risk of China, and you have re-election risk of Trump, meaning if he gets reelected, he's going to hammer China with everything he's got, my opinion, come out blazing like second-term presidents tend to do. All right, last one I'm going to talk about before we shift to a smaller, or to the short-term focus is iDrive. If you don't want to try to pick out an individual name, no problemo. There are several ETFs out there that you can get in. iDrive is, appropriately named. There's also eCar that is either out or about to be released. We couldn't get any data on it this morning. And there's Moto, which is, motorized vehicle, something or other. So what you can see here is they're a little bit thinly traded. That's why it doesn't look as, the volume's not there as much as it is in the other individual names. But these, if you want to get in that space, if you buy iDrive, just hold that. You're buying it for a 10-year investment. So if you don't want to sweat the individual stock thing, then that's the way to go. All right, let's take a look at the short names. I see some stuff popping up in the chat. I'm already going to take BLK long. So let's put BLK up where on the middle pane there, just so I can watch that. Kind of like Luckin doesn't trade before hours either, but yet there is some movement in the name. So I need to get an answer on why stocks start trading a few minutes prior to the open there. Okay. What do you already know? I just know they crushed earnings, so it's going higher. How many shares? Yeah, it's $580 stock. So you're going to be maxed out pretty much on whatever your pattern day trading limit. If you're not a pattern day trader and you don't have 4X on your account, you're not going to get that many shares. Quickest pick ever. Thank you. Yes, I am confident. All right. So count that I did 690 times my, oh, it's funny. It's interesting from the downloads. Sorry, I'm hijacking the brief here, but I can tell it's by state, and I can see there is an Alabama presence there, and small Ohio presence. So, and there's large Texas presence, that sort of thing. All right, no Predator. You don't have 310. Yep. How many do you buy? As much as you can. It'd be okay. No, we're not going to put I love Elon. He should send me a pair of those shorts. I more than bought one or two. All right. Yeah, I did try to short Tesla yesterday with predictable and consistent results on my part. With another mark in the loss column for me. Dell long. All right, let's take a look at Dell. This would be continuation from yesterday. As far as the big news was yesterday on the spinning off VMware. So they are at 59 right now. They're actually gapping down. So this would not be in accordance with our normal buy the gap and go strategy of looking for the 100,000 of volume and 5 to 10% long. But we shall see. I see the trade in there, and good luck. All right, let's go over to the, BLK. Let's look at BLNK, since I already talked about it. I've got BlackRock down, nothing to look at there. BLNK. No news, but man, 593 all the way up to, that's only showing 660. TD Ameritrade showing it ticks well up to a high of 729. I'm curious as to why I'm not seeing that same tick on the Schwab chart. BLNK, yeah, well, don't know what the difference is there. But it is at, again, closed at 6, up at 650. So I think that's a strong trade if you're willing to hop in on NEO. Okay, cruise lines got hammered. CDC, I didn't see it in the headlines, but I did read it earlier this morning. There's been a ban on cruises that was set to expire like this week or end of July, something like that. It's extended to through September, I believe. So again, I would expect the cruise lines to get hit. You could take those short. You might be fighting the market though, since the market is in the green pre-market. All right, space is Virgin Galactic up 8%. Click on that. I don't know what the, no headline there, so you're kind of in the dark if you wanted to take that one, but it certainly meets the criteria. All right, you see Netflix is gapping down. Netflix is too strong of a stock to try to short, opinion, of course, but yeah, have fun with that. All right, let's go to the next tab. All right, RCL, I see that popping up as the Predators trade, so let's take a look at RCL short. All right, again, that's headlines from the CDC. I don't see the CDC headline there, but that is affecting that stock. 53, 20-cent stop, 53. Yeah, a little tight, but again, you get paid real quick. Paper count, yeah. Yeah, you know, can't doubt you there. No problems at all. We see Novavax is long. That stock has been in play. So I'll take a look at that. Let's pull it up, see if there's a headline with it. All right, other than it's gapping, no other headline there. Lots of stuff gapping up if you're looking down at the bottom there. Looking for names, I know. Allied Bank, FNB is another bank. Let's see. BOK only up 1.2%. Again, just that's like low volume, 500 shares. Well, added together pre-market like 1,500 shares, so not much. So it doesn't have the volume there, but I do think obviously BOK is the trade long for me. All right, let's go to the short tab and see what we have. See if RCL hits it up there. Don't see RCL, but I do like the short trade. All right, Netflix meets our criteria. Have fun if you want to give it a shot. We'll certainly check on it. I just don't think it can make it happen. Short, catching up on my notes. All right. No other, well, let's see. So yeah, let's click on that. Let's see, Cytokinetics. Okay, it's got a share offering coming out at $24. So previous close at 25. Sure looks like a gap down to me. Oh yeah, that's what we're seeing. So it's just gapping down to 24. Again, that's a nothing burger because it's going to hang it around that stock offering price. So we won't need to touch that. And let's go to the next tab. Got 2.5 minutes to the open. I see 3 trades in. I didn't know that. You can't use day trading power in a paper account. I thought it replicated that for you, but I don't know. All right, let's see. We see space gapping up. We already talked about that. Bloom Energy. We have to check out BE. I've never heard of them. Southern Cal Gas, huh? Cool name though, right? All right. Harmony Gold, no. 98 K12, that LRN is gapping up again down at the bottom. There was no headline yesterday. Do we get a headline today? Let's check it out. Sales rumors of a different company. I do not see enough there to really try to tease that out. Let's go to the last tab. Rumbleon. Never heard of them. 1 minute to the open. Blink up 10%. I like it. All right, let's set up our TD Ameritrade. We've got BLNK on the left right now. Let's switch that to pick one here. He's going to put Dell over there. That means we're going to get RCL on the right. I have BlackRock in the middle. It's already moved up pre-market, so that is not making me happy. What kind of stop did I put out? $10 stop. I don't like my trade as much as I did, but I already called it, so that's what you get for calling it earlier. All right. 30 seconds to the open. Let's see. I said I'm in at the open, so we'll mark up mine first. And let's see. Dell long at the open, so we'll mark that too. And then Predator in at 1 minute. All right. 10 seconds, and we'll be off. Future's still holding pretty nice. So you got the SPY off the left to be able to reference to watch the overall market as well. All right, we'll mark BlackRock for my entry there. 578.35-ish, that'll work. $10, so all the way off the chart to the bottom, so nice and safe there. We shall see. RCL, let's see, RCL was Burner and in at the beginning, so you can mark his in. No, I'm sorry, Burner was Dell. So let's go to Dell first. Dell long at the open, so we can mark his entry there at 58.76. Very nice. And let's see, the stop on Dell was a 75-cent stop, so pretty much all the way down to 58. So you've got lots of room there. RCL, yeah, nice move down. What's that, 40, 50 cents already? We shall see. That's got more. I've got no problem with an entry there either. 51.60 for the entry for Predator. That I could see that striping down. Now your 20-cent stop. Woohoo! Let's mark him at a 51.80 there. Obviously not a lot of room to back up, but if it continues to stripe down, you'll be 3 R's before you know it. Look like, let's zoom in on the market a little bit. There we go. So again, you know, market's in the red there. All right. Still in the trade there. I've got all the way to 568, so I'm off the chart to the bottom there. Burner is still in his trade, even though we're both upside down. And then, of course, you've got RCL falling as well. All right, let's see when everybody's out of the trade. So it looks like Predator's out first at the 5-minute point, and 7-minute, and then 8-minute. Okay, so my trade's probably the most boring, if you will. So let's look around a little bit. Let's check out Blink in that middle pane, BLNK. It was up 10% pre-market, so kind of chilling out there around 640. I would like to see that be the low of the day, honestly, for that name. I could really see it trucking higher from here. If you were to take a delayed entry, I have no problem taking it at 640. You've got a 10-cent stop. Yeah, you got Royal Cruise Line backing up, so that trades out. But look at the trade there in Blink. If you wanted to go long, take it at the 640 point. You've got 10-cent stop down to 630. And you would need it to go up to 670 as far as your trade. I like that setup. So anyhow, let's put BlackRock back in since my trade's still alive. And then we'll use the right-hand pane. We'll kill off the RCL and continue to look around. So we looked at Blink. Let's look at NCLH, another cruise line. I'd imagine it will follow the same pattern as RCL. Backed up only 12% though, so not as bad. That's not a bad entry here, short either, especially with the market kind of coming in. So SPY is only up 0.2%. So, all right, let's see. Let's look around. Let's look at NVAX again. That was a long. All right, in at 128 at the open, so it's kind of a $4 move there. So yeah, even if you took it at the 2-minute point up at 130, you're still getting a couple dollar move out of that. So if you were to ride the NVAX train, that would have worked. It's up 10% on the day. All right, my thesis on BlackRock is not paying off so far. It's only moving against me, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see, RCL we've talked about, and then Netflix. Let's look at that in the right pane. Again, this was going to be a short. It's set up for short. I said it was too strong to short, and it appears that's correct. So we'll zoom in on that there a little bit. So it popped at the open and then selling back off. So it went back over 500. I'd be shocked if that actually ended up below 500 today. So I think it'll climb back up, but no crystal ball. We'll take a look at some other names. Let's take a look at, you know what I'm going to say, Luckin Coffee. Oh, my favorite. So 290 to 293, down 1.68%. Oh, it generally moves over 5% every day, right? So we need to have it say more than that. All right. Let's take a look at LCA. So again, this is like DraftKings. DraftKings has been on fire. It's moved almost 10% in the past 2 days up. And again, delays in sports opening only helps DraftKings. DraftKings actually a sponsor, get this, of the lacrosse league, which as far as I know, maybe that's a new thing. I don't know. But lacrosse is open and playing, and DraftKings is now a sponsor of it. And you can bet on lacrosse, which I would kind of have to learn the rules to lacrosse, but I don't know. How hard can it be, right? So that's your LCA. It's kind of, it's still up 4% from where it closed yesterday. So that's a good sign. That's a name that if you wanted to nibble on something, it's also a special acquisition. It's going to become golden nugget or something or other long. So we shall see. All right, let's take a look at NKLA off to the right. While we're doing that, we'll take a look at the Tesla stock price over on a different screen. So just checking it out for you. It is 1512 right now, so up almost 1% for Tesla on the day. So Nikola is up 0.6%. So all right, let's take a look at Shell, SHLL. I didn't talk about them earlier. I almost did, but again, that's another EV truck play that's out there. Again, Tortoise is really the name of the company, but Shell is the ticker. And let's take a look at the other EV that I had, Workhorse, WKHS. Selling off a little bit, down 1% on the day. All right, so let's put Luckin over there just because I like to keep an eye on Luckin, and we'll talk about our trades. We are at minute 7, and I want to say this is the last minute for a burner. Refreshing, yep, Dell long at the open, out at 7. So it's in the red right now from where it opened. So we'll see if where we are at the end of this minute. 30 seconds left. I'm also in the red for BlackRock, but I have another minute after that, so we shall see. Luckin, I don't put you up there off to the right for me to watch you fall. You're supposed to move the other direction. So, all right, checking the overall market. So basically selling off from where they were, and I was surprised. I thought this would be a kind of a green Friday, almost a big green Friday, but that's not turning out to be the case. The Dow's about ready to go red. It's at 0.05 right now, 0.07. The S&P is at 0.26, and the NASDAQ's at 0.27. So still all in the green, but kind of falling from there. Okay, looks like we've closed out on the Dell trade, so that'll be an X. So we can bring that down and put BLNK up. I've got 30 seconds to get to the green in BlackRock, which is very achievable, but probably not going to happen. It kind of doesn't matter because I get to attend the room free since I pay for it, right, to set it up in my house. So we'll leave that up there for curiosity, and then we will start to look around the market. Looking at other names that are in play. BABA up 2%. BlackRock's at the 2% up. Hey, look at that. Oh, ding, out in the red. All right. So didn't quite finish. Yeah, thanks for the arrow. Nice try. Didn't happen for me. What's funny is it's got to do its first tick out, but I get the closing tick of the 8-minute, which was in the red, not the opening tick of the 9th minute. So for thinly traded stocks, you can see that. So while we're on that, look at the difference between the two ticks there. There's 577 and 578. So basically $1. So if you go into these high dollar stocks, you're often seeing a dollar plus spread. So that's where you can get into that situation where you see it actually gap. It also did that in a couple other minutes down there from 570, below 575 to almost 576. So anyhow, All right, let's go over to chart and take a look at the names on the big board. So we got 12%. That's a psychedelic name. We have Blink at 8%. Again, it was up 10 to 12 earlier. LCA is what we talked about. That's Landcadia Special Acquisition out there. We know about BlackRock. It's going long today. Callaway Golf, ELY, up there. That's been kind of, it was ripped higher, and I've started to think about selling it because I might have all the move it's going to make. And I won't sell it all, but that is a name I'm looking at peeling some shares off of. Same with FireEye. I've reduced my position in FireEye pretty sizably. Tesla's in the green. PayPal. All right, at least we have that first full screen in the green. Let's check the reds. Neo, the big loser, down 8%, followed by Netflix down 7%, and then, yeah, there's our friend. Workhorse Sony. Sony's been on fire, so there's probably some profit taking in that. Kramer's headline that was on there was, yesterday was the sell-off he was looking for to get money back into the market. And it was like a very, very tiny sell-off. So I don't know, that's a little optimistic. We do have an election in a little over 3 months, so I have no problem moving to safety here. You're still going to have plenty of long exposure, so don't be worried when I say move to safety. But, you know, best of breed names that we're always in, we're going to hold those through. But certainly picking up SPXB, which is sitting there even down at the bottom, you know, is what you'll start to load up on. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the CNBC. Excuse me, we'll bring up Google Chrome here. We're going to take a look at Elon Musk. Before we do, though, let me run through the chat one more time. You know, it's funny, Predator, I saw, you know, as I glanced at the chat while I'm trying to get through the morning open, and I see I love Elon in all caps. I thought for sure you were saying that should be my license plate. So, hey, we're just looking at BlackRock on another screen, just bumped up to 586, so $9 move after I left it. Of course, that was only be 1R. I called over 600 and it's at 580 something. So we shall see. BLK on fire. Yep. You guys are first seeing it before me. Okay, I think that's okay. Teledyne, what's the move here? I saw a documentary where Teledyne will be coming out with some good robotic AI. If you know the ticker for Teledyne, go ahead and throw it in there, Predator. I don't offhand. Let's see. DraftKings can establish a betting market for amateur Saturday morning golfers and benefit Eli. You know, it's so funny. Since, you know, you guys don't know each other, but Berner runs an amateur golf tour on Saturdays. How about that? So y'all need to talk. Yeah, I know, right? Berner, repeat. Go up 4 comments in the chat, and you can see Predator's comment about Callaway Golf and betting on amateur golfing. Let's see. Could you bet on amateur golfing? Yeah, I guess, as long as the players bet on anything, right? Hey, shut up about my golf score. No, I haven't gotten any better, and that's not likely to change. So, yes, passwords. Yep. Okay, you guys are hilarious this morning. All right. So I will look at the Q&A since I see, is Elon Musk a visionary like Steve Jobs, who also had a lot of questionable personality traits? Agreed. Or does he have a better mix, some Tim Cook in him? I would say that you're insulting Tim Cook now I am a big fan of Tim Cook. Huge, to be honest. I have no doubt whatsoever in his ability to lead, and people would follow him off the end of the world. I would also agree that people will follow Elon Musk off the end of the world, where Tim Cook is more of a bring everyone along. You do see Elon Musk out with his tweets, out with his emails to all Tesla employees saying, I need everything you have. He's more of the military type leader that views his people, in my opinion, as little pieces of value to squeeze every last little drop out of them. And if they, if they keel over and pass away along the way, then you just, next person up. That's an opinion. But he's obviously doing amazing things. So is he a visionary? Absolutely. Is Tim Cook a visionary? I would say no. He's more of a just brilliant CEO, brilliant leader. But yeah, I think Elon Musk is not done. He's obviously very young in the big picture. So he's got, you know, 2+ decades, 3+ decades of making huge changes to this world. So as we kind of answer your question, but transition into that, you know, I haven't reached out to Elon for the podcast. I'd probably get a few downloads on that. Uh, well, he is scouting Austin. They just, it's Travis County, not the one I live in, Williamson County. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. You weren't on. But yeah, we made the same mistake every other state has made with Tesla and let the silver tongue Elon talk us out of all kinds of tax breaks. So we will probably end up with his ridiculously big factory and somehow paying him to do it here. I don't know. He's good. He's good. You're right. I don't get it, but he's good. All right. So that's my answer is yes, he's a visionary. He's nothing, and to me, nothing like Tim Cook. Okay. Nice shot on BLK there. You can keep a few shares if you want. I still think it's going higher. But that's me. And looking, you're not looking at it probably. I can't look away. It's like the train wreck that just can't get away from. Luckin's back moving higher. All right. Okay, let's look at the wiki page here and we'll kind of close out on, well, we have two screens for you. We'll look at this one first. All right, let's scroll up a little bit. So obviously, perfect. PayPal is where he made his big name. There was some other stuff before that, but really PayPal is where he exploded onto the billionaire scene. Tesla, Solar City, SpaceX, the Boring Company, the Hyperloops, where, you know, let's dig tunnels under the earth and that's going to be the future of transportation. I don't know. This guy's just kind of hasn't been wrong like ever. So crazy. Now, maybe he's wrong for tweeting as much as he does, but I've said that about another individual named President Trump. But hey, it works for those guys. I've sent about 7 tweets in my entire life, and I feel like each time I'm taking risks just by saying like nothing. But anyway, good for them. All right, relentless work ethic. Yep. Also, yeah, there was probably his low point, or maybe that's where he got super popular. Was he was smoking marijuana on the podcast for the Joe Rogan show, which I don't know, maybe that's cemented him as a cult hero to be able to do that. So yeah, tweeting that he's taken Tesla private. Obviously, he got in trouble for the funding secured. He made a joke about the stock price being secured at 420, which is obviously the marijuana number, April 20th. So craziness. All right, let's scroll up with the key takeaways. Yeah, educated in physics. Good for him. My favorite comment, I don't know if it's in here, but literally, you just got to laugh. It is, he says he wants to die on Mars, just not on impact. So just love that comment. So yeah, he wants to literally colonize Mars. So you kind of have to pay attention. That's more crazy uncle kind of stuff. But when you got a guy doing everything that he's doing and he says he wants to colonize Mars, you kind of have to just get in line and go, okay, well, I guess he's going to colonize Mars. So we'll see how that works out. All right, let's scroll on up. Don't really need to know how bullied he was. Did not know he moved to Canada. How about that? Canadian citizenship. Okay. Marry and have 5. So he's got 5 sons, twins and triplets before divorce. Sorry, he's got 6 kids now. He also has X, and there's some symbols and numbers out there with his, I think she's a singer or a rap star. How can the Commodore VIC-20 come up in the comments? That is an eye catcher. Yeah, I remember VIC-20 days. Those were good times. Elon used it. Very nice. Well, we all have that in common then. That's it. All right. Let's go to the other one for Elon Musk best investments, and we'll see. We'll just go to the key takeaways here and see if there's anything we haven't already talked about. Yeah, the Boring Company. So if you see those hats, those are kind of that's a pretty funny name. I have to give him that. Yeah, his billions. I mean, craziness. That's Tesla stock. Obviously, he put almost all of his. I mean, he's put a ton of money in propping up the stock when there were all the haters. There is some concern that he has put so much of his money in the stock that if the shorts are actually right and all of the fundamentals that don't exist for Tesla and their non-GAAP earnings, if that is a house of cards, which I have said that incorrectly, obviously, but if it is a house of cards, he's going to get hit hard when it all comes down. Remember, Solar City failed so bad that he had to buy it himself and take it, merged it with Tesla, which, if you remember my comment at the time, was literally, it's like Elon Musk eating his own turd, because he created it, it failed, and he had to buy it. So anyway, all right. Yeah, maybe, right? It's a long, it's a long wait. I do want to go in and short Tesla again, but I don't want to risk any dollars on it, because I just can't, because I've been wrong every single time. So, all right, a lot of fun today. Thanks for the participation there. I hope for, again, the podcast, big hopes this weekend for it. I had the New Zealand interview. If you haven't checked that out, that's episode 28. It's kind of fun. It's only 20 minutes, so it's not too long. And I have an interview every week for the next 3 weeks on different forums. So again, hopefully that will, again, get my name out there, which gets the podcast name out there, which gets people in the room, so we can have more jovial banter in the morning. So with that, I'm going to let you go, and we will catch you on a Monday. Have a great weekend.